Merry Christmas, Upward family. It's so good to be with you. Thanks for welcoming us into your homes on this special day. We normally would be here at church on a Sunday, but as you well know, most of you would know, we just finished 3 wonderful Christmas Eve services, and we wanted to come to you online today. I know you're celebrating with your families and thinking about the reason for all this, God's incredible gift to us of Jesus Christ. So thank you. 2022 has been this incredible year. God has done so many things at Upward Christian Fellowship. It just continues to blow me away at how God has blessed us and how generous you've been to help us be a blessing in this community. And we've just got story after story after story. We're going to celebrate today the way the Christmas offering, the way you gave at Christmas. And I'm going to be talking with Kristen Martin, the director of Thrive, about the impact your generosity has had on this community at Christmas time. But I just wanted to say thank you and wish you and your families a Merry Christmas this year. It's just such an incredible time to slow down. I hope you're slowing down just a little bit, and maybe you're turning off all the outside distractions, just focusing on your family and focusing on the greatest gift ever given to humanity, the gift of God's Son in Jesus Christ. The Word said the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld His glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. That's what we celebrate here, the gift of Jesus Christ. And I want you to know we're thankful for that. We're thankful for the gift of the relationship we have with you. So once again, Merry Christmas. Thanks for taking some time to be with us today. We love every one of you.
Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. Once again, thanks for joining us today. And we could think of no better way for us to celebrate the birth of Christ than taking a few moments to break open our Bibles and just read through Luke chapter 2 a little bit there as we recount the birth of Christ. So if you've got a Bible and you want to follow along, please feel free to do that. And we're going to go ahead and jump into Luke chapter 2, beginning in verse 1. And here's what it writes. In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration when Quirinius was governor of Syria, and all went to be registered, each to his own town. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, from the town of Nazareth to Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and the lineage of David, to be registered with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child. And while they were there, the time came for her to give birth. And she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling cloths, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the inn. And in the same region there were shepherds out in the field, keeping watch over their flocks by night. And an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were filled with great fear. And the angel said to them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy, that will be for all the people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And this will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in swaddling cloths and lying in a manger. And suddenly there were with the angel a multitude of heavenly hosts praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among those whom he is pleased. When the angels went away from them into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, Let us go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has made known to us. And they went with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the baby lying in a manger. And when they saw it, they made known the saying that had been told to them concerning the child. And all who heard it wondered at what the shepherds told them. But Mary treasured up all these things, pondering them in her heart. And the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen, as it had been told to them.
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful, all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful, all ye nations, rise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
Great to be here today with Kristen Martin. Kristen is one of my dear friends. She's been a friend for a long, long time. Kristen serves on our board here at Upward Christian Fellowship. She does a fantastic job at that, and we're so blessed to have you in leadership here, Kristen. At Upward. Thank you. Mm-hmm. She did mention, I need to backtrack, I wanted to say this, but we celebrated our 25th anniversary recently, and Kristen mentioned in her videos that we had prayed with her through infertility,
yes.
And now she has 5 children.
Yes.
Since that video came out, nobody will let me pray for them.
Oh no. Too many blessings? Is that a thing?
Oh my goodness. You may feel that way someday. Kristen and Rob, her husband, are just fantastic. They're raising 5 children for Jesus Christ, and it's an adventure. Kristen normally doesn't shake my hand when she comes into church because she has 3 or 4 hands clutching at her as she
That
tries
is
to get
true.
through the lobby here. Thanks for what you do, Kristen. Personally, those 5 children are so blessed to have you and Rob as mom and dad, and you're making a difference in their lives here and an eternal difference. I really believe that. And thank you for what you do at Upward. We got this incredible board at Upward. We've just got people who are so focused on the vision and so focused on the mission that we have to touch Henderson County, and it's just such a blessing. And at Christmas time, that just becomes a double blessing as we're able just to pour into the community in all kinds of ways. Kristen is the director of Thrive, which is this incredible organization that does so much in the community. Kristen, could you tell us a little bit about Thrive? Some of our folks, I'm sure, haven't heard about Thrive. I'd love to hear what you guys do.
Sure. So we're a nonprofit in Henderson County. We've been open since 2006, so we have a long history here serving folks that have mental health challenges as well as housing instability. So we have 3 main programs that we do where we help homeless individuals and families find safe and affordable housing, help them to figure out what led to their homelessness. Oftentimes it is a mental health challenge or a medical challenge. Even if they don't have a mental health challenge prior to that, when you experience homelessness and you don't know where you're going to sleep that night, the depression and anxiety is very real. So we help them kind of get back on their feet. We have a day program as well that we do a lot of serve days at, which we're very thankful for, that helps folks that have the more severe mental health challenges. And then this partnership allowed us to do a little prevention work as well.
When I first heard Thrive, I thought, okay, mental health, I pictured it as a counseling organization and people would come in crisis and then maybe go home. But as I learned more about it, you guys do so much and you're touching so many people in a variety of ways because the mental health issues create all kinds of other issues.
Yeah, it's a full circle kind of environment. So mental health can create other life issues like not being able to pay your bills or not being able to keep a job at times. But on the reverse side, when you have a crisis in another area of life, often mental health challenges come right along with that.
Well, we were so blessed to be able to partner with Thrive this year at Christmas. Every year we, about maybe, hopefully by July or August, sometimes a little bit later, we start talking about what's the Christmas offering going to benefit this year? What are we giving this? How are we giving this away in the community? So we started talking about this August, September, something like that, and started batting around several different ideas and praying about where the Lord would have us as a church to invest this offering. And let me say as well, we don't advertise this. When we give these things, we don't say Upward Christian Fellowship. We just say this is from a church that loves Jesus, because this is not about marketing. We share this with you as our church family because we want to be able to celebrate with you what God has done through us together. But we're not out there putting it on television or social media or anything trying to say, hey, look at us. We're just trying to legitimately get out in the community and meet some big needs. So we got in our board meeting and we had thought about several different things and talked about it, and then we realized Kristen brought up an incredible need that we have right now. Would you like to share kind of what that need has been over the
Sure.
last several months?
Yeah, so we've had a huge housing need occur. It started during COVID. We had a housing need before COVID, obviously, but during COVID, it just got worse and worse. More and more people were not able to make their rent and mortgage payments and were foreclosing or being evicted, which only makes our homeless population grow. And so we were really wanting to start doing some prevention. Inflation happened, and folks moved their regular rentals into Airbnbs, and people can get double the amount because there is a 0% vacancy rate in Henderson County. And so we really needed a way to incentivize landlords to work with Thrive. And so we came up with different landlord incentive programs. When the board started talking about what is one of the greatest needs in our community, housing came immediately to mind because we just have calls every single day about folks that are not able to afford their rent, or they hit one little hiccup in life and then they're evicted and then they become homeless. Then they sometimes move in with family, but they're not on the lease, and so then that family gets evicted, and it's just a chain of events that can really impact a lot of lives. So this was a great opportunity to try to do a little prevention work.
I remember being in the board meeting talking about it, and we kicked around so many different ideas, and many of them were great ideas. But when we heard about this, I think everybody in unison said, yeah, we really feel like the Holy Spirit's leading us to do that this year, to provide some immediate housing assistance to individuals and families all over our community. So really excited. You guys gave so well. We don't have a final tally yet. The online numbers take sometimes a few weeks to all come in, when people give online. But the last I checked, late in the week last week, we were about a little over, I believe, $160,000 that we were able to give to this, and it was just blew me away. I think our previous record was like 136 a few years ago. And you guys, I just want to say thank you. You gave in such an incredible way, and it's made such an impact. And I want to thank you as well, Kristen. I heard this, and this isn't always the case, but by about it was within about a week and a half, you guys had already given, I believe at the time I heard, it was about $110,000 that had already gone out to meet these needs. Mm-hmm. And thank you for that. It was just, it was very gratifying to think we gave this and it's already done what we wanted it to do.
Yeah. Yeah, the board had really emphasized that we wanted it to happen during the holiday season. And so I communicated with my Thrive board that we could start those payments before everything even cleared. Yeah, it was amazing.
So you were giving before everything even got in there. Thank you for that. Yeah. You really got ahead of that.
No problem.
Oh, that's fantastic. So tell us some stories, Kristen. We don't want to break any confidence obviously or expose anybody's need in a shameful way at all, but are there some stories you could tell us for the folks out there, so many who gave, and we had some larger gifts. It's usually the case in this that it's the average giver who doesn't necessarily have thousands of dollars to give to something like this, but we have so many who are just faithful. They give what they can, and when that all adds up, you can bless your community. And so I'd like our person out there who gave to this, some of them, many of them sacrificially, I'd like them to hear what this offering actually did.
Yeah. So as of the recording, we also already helped 125 families with $122,000 worth of giving. So we still have more to process, but that's really exciting, seeing as how it's the 19th of the month and people are stressing out about Christmas and holiday plans. So that's really exciting. We have been able to help folks that have rent or mortgage payments that are as low as $100 all the way up to $1,300. So it's been a wide range that it has been helpful for. We've had a single mom that had her baby in the NICU that hasn't been able to work, and so she was about to be evicted. We were able to pay her. She was behind 1 month and then needed this month, and so we were able to do both for that amount of time. We had a grandmother that has cancer that is also the only caregiver for their 4-year-old grandchild. And they were really struggling, not able to make ends meet. We were able to help that household out. We've been able to help out some first responders. We've actually had quite a few paramedics, EMS, firefighters, police officers that have had something come about. One of them had a child that was ill. Another one, their spouse had cancer. Just different situations that they weren't expecting, and they're out serving our community. And so it was really great to be able to help that group of folks out as well. We have had a lot of folks that cancer has been kind of a common theme. A lot of folks that don't expect that diagnosis to be coming, and then it impacts their income immediately, and they also have a lot more bills to go along with that. So it's nice to take this off of their plate. We've had several school teachers actually as well, school staff where their partner or spouse lost their job recently, and so they were down to a single income, trying to continue serving the kids in their classrooms, and this took a stress relief off of them. It's just story after story. It's been really fun. This has been a really fun way to serve other people. It's been horrible to hear the different stories, and but it's been a real blessing to be able to just turn it around for them really quickly.
I know what you mean by the fun side of it. I remember and I've said this so many times, we did a interview, we were talking about it before, during COVID. We did a mental health series, and you sat right in this room and we talked about it. I remember that season. It was horrible, but we had so much fun just being a blessing. I really want our people to grab hold of that, and this feeling that we're feeling right now, I'm just blown away by that. I really want people to get a hold of that, and people are getting a hold of generosity in such a powerful way. We see it every day. I'm not exaggerating. Every day I'm hearing stories of people, not just at Upward, but people becoming generous. People's bills are getting paid off at grocery stores. People are just walking up, handing people a $100 bill, paying for their groceries. It's happening all over our community. I'm hearing it again and again and again, and it's just incredible how the joy of generosity is contagious. It really is. The other thing that strikes me is these stories, I tend to think anyway, and it's just a mindset, I tend to think of we're helping people maybe who are out of a job. Some of these are just hard-working people. Many of these, from these stories, are hard-working people who had a life event just come up that could have taken them out of their house. I mean, teachers, first responders, these are people, heroic people on the front lines for our community that don't get paid as much as we'd like to see them get paid, who've had life hit them.
Yeah. What's really interesting, too, is, with Upward having radical generosity as one of our first thoughts, right, is people, when I've called landlords and mortgage companies over the last couple of weeks, they think it's a scam. They think there's no way possible that somebody is going to do this. So I've had to actually work harder to get people to take the payments and give me their payment address than I have had to work with the folks that just needed a little help. It's been really interesting.
One of our goals is to get people used to that.
Right.
That churches do this.
Right.
Not just Upward, but other churches do this.
Yeah.
They actually go out and help people. I heard a story from somewhere about a landlord asking about it, and
yes.
Tell me that story. Is that?
Yes. So we had, I think, sometimes landlords talk just, amongst themselves.
Sure.
So we had a landlord call and ask if that could possibly be true, if their tenant was telling them the truth, if what they were hearing from their friend was truthful, and it was just really great. And I've had similar reactions from my staff as well, not believing that, first of all, that a church would do this and not want the recognition, and then secondly, that it's no judgment based. So there wasn't a 10-page application for somebody to fill out. We didn't need verification of a diagnosis of cancer or some of the other things that often folks have to kind of jump through a lot of hoops. And so they're just floored. People are just they're crying or they're laughing hysterically, or you can just hear the relief in their different expressions. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
When we're generous, we really show who Jesus is, and church has not always been that great at that. And I think when we can come together and do something like this, people begin to see him for who he really is.
Agreed.
And that's so powerful. I'm so excited about this. You see, family, what God's been able to do through us this year has just been incredible. I know this, it may not seem very Christmassy here other than the tree right here in between us, but I can't think of a better way to celebrate the Lord's birth than just to share together in what he's done through you in this community. And he's not finished yet.
No.
There's some greater things he wants to do, some greater community impact, and I'm just excited to see it. Stories go on. I could stay here all day. Anything else you'd like to add, Kristen?
Just thank you. Thank you guys for trusting the church with this donation. And then in turn, we really thank you for the partnership with Thrive so that we can make such a huge impact here in December. It's very exciting.
Thank you all so much. And again, we wish you a Merry Christmas. Relax today, except for this. Turn the internet connection off today now that you've heard this most important thing today. Get off the screens and get with your family all you can today and just savor this day and enjoy it so much. And we will see you back very soon. And thank you.